Hello friends, welcome to my channel Kahani Didi. Today I am going to tell you the story of two friends. The name of the story is Tit for Tat and the story is from Sudha Murthy ji's story collection. So let's start the story. Kiran and Varun were good friends even though Kiran was cunning and Varun was a simple person. Once, when they were traveling together, it started raining very hard. The two had to stop and take shelter. Standing under a huge banyan tree, they huddled close to the trunk, shivering. There, in a little hollow, they found a pot with a tight lid. They managed to prise open the lid and found to their delight that the pot was full of gold. The two friends decided to divide the money when they reached home. But by now it was dark and they could not see anything. They had to spend the night under the tree. In the middle of the night, while Varun slept soundly, Kiran woke up, removed all the gold from the pot and filled it with stones. Shutting the lid tightly again, he went back to sleep. The next morning, they went back home, carefully carrying the pot. When they opened it, they found only stones. Varun was heartbroken. Whatever could have happened to all that gold? He wailed. Kiran pretended to console him. Perhaps it was a magic pot and the gold was never meant for us. Let's throw it away before it does us any harm. Kiran took the pot from Varun's hands and threw it as far as possible. Poor Varun at first believed his friend's story, but after a few days he noticed that Kiran had suddenly become very rich. He was spending money like water, buying whatever he laid his eyes on. Now Varun understood what must have happened to all that gold in the pot. Furious at being made a fool of by his friend, he hatched a plan to get even. He went to the town artist and asked him to make a clay image of Kiran. Then he purchased two monkeys and brought them home. Every day he trained the monkeys to eat their meals sitting in the lap of the clay image. After many weeks, the monkeys would eat only when they were seated in the statue's lap. Varun then put the next part of his plan into action. He invited Kiran's son and daughter home for a meal. Since they were very fond of their uncle Varun, they happily agreed. Varun whispered his plan to them and the children laughed, agreeing to do as he said. What an adventure, they thought. When his children did not return home by evening, Kiran got worried and went to Varun's house to look for them. Varun invited him in, offered a seat, and brought some tea. Forget the tea, Varun, Kiran shouted. Tell me where my kids are. Varun had hidden the children in another room. Here they are, he announced, and brought out his two pet monkeys. As soon as the monkeys saw Kiran, they thought he was the statue in whose lap they sat every day to eat their meal. They jumped on to his lap and started looking for food in his pockets. Kiran was very angry. Call these monkeys away from me. Tell me where my children are before I call in the king's soldiers. Varun pretended to be surprised. My friend, can you not recognize your own children sitting on your lap? How dare you say these monkeys are my dear children? Shouted Kiran, pushing the monkeys away, nearly bursting with rage. Don't be angry, Kiran, Varun replied. As soon as I fed your children their lunch, they turned into monkeys. You expect me to believe such a story? How can children become monkeys? Varun smiled. In the same way, gold can turn into stone, my friend, he answered quietly. Now Kiran understood what Varun was trying to tell him. He turned red with shame. He promised to share half of his newly gained wealth with Varun and went home with his children. And whenever he saw a monkey after that, he remembered his cheating ways and never tried to trick anyone again. So, what did you learn from the story, kids? We learned from the story that we should never cheat our friends. So, kids, How did you like the story? Children, if you like the story, then definitely share it and do not forget to subscribe my channel Kahani Didi for such lovely stories. That's all for now. Take care. Bye bye, kids.